After 2 days of talks in Berlin, European leaders agreed to extensive security guarantees for Ukraine, committing to coming to Kyiv's defense in a future attack by Russia. In a statement released on Monday night, Europe and the US committed to work together to provide the guarantees, including a European-led armed force supported by the US.
Das ist eine wirklich weitreichende, substanzielle Vereinbarung, die wir bisher nicht hatten, dass nämlich sowohl die Europäer als auch die Amerikaner gemeinsam bereit sind, und Präsident Zelensky hat Bezug genommen auf Artikel 5 des NATO-Vertrages, ähnliche Sicherheitsgarantien für die Ukraine zu geben. Das ist aus meiner Sicht ein wirklich großer Fortschritt, und die amerikanische Seite hat sich hier, wie gesagt, auch politisch und in der Perspektive rechtlich gebunden, dies zu tun.
Other than a multinational force on Ukrainian soil, guarantees also include a US-led mechanism to monitor and verify an eventual ceasefire and Ukraine's accession to the European Union.
We're trying to get it done, and I think we're closer now, and they will tell you that they're closer now. We had numerous conversations with President Putin of Russia, and I think we're closer now than we have been ever, and we'll see what we can do.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said territories were the most difficult issue of the negotiations due to the vast disagreements with Russia, which is intent on taking as much land as possible. The diplomatic breakthrough in Berlin comes days before EU leaders are set together in a crucial summit in Brussels to decide how to raise 90 billion euros to finance Ukraine's budgetary and military needs for 2026 and 2027.
The death toll from the shooting on Sydney's beachfront has risen to 15, with more than 40 injured still being treated. Among the dead are a 10-year-old girl and a British rabbi. Authorities are currently aware of 2 attackers but are still investigating whether they had accomplices. The 50-year-old father was shot dead by police at the scene, while his 24-year-old son is being treated in critical condition at a Sydney hospital. Both men had licenses to own firearms for recreational hunting. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has now promised that his government would tighten gun control laws.
The type of atrocities we saw yesterday can't be tolerated, and it's not fair that any section of the community cannot go around their usual way of life. I understand, and the New South Wales Police understand, the fear that is currently within that community, and I think it's really important that we show the resolute support for the communities.
Meanwhile, more and more people are gathering at Bondi Beach to pay their respects to the victims with bouquets of flowers and candles. Australian flags have been lowered to half-mast across the country.
And then we were running up behind me, and we could just hear the gunshots, and they're just so loud. And we didn't know which way that they were shooting, so we were like running on the open road. And I just, like, images are just like flashing. I'm like, I just need to get my family safe, so we're just running with heaps of people.
About 1,000 people attended Sunday's Hanukkah event in a park near Bondi Beach. Authorities have officially classified the attack as anti-Semitic terrorism. The European Commission is set on signing the Mercosur agreement before the end of the year, increasing pressure on France to lift its opposition. Supporters of the deal have grown impatient after 25 years of negotiations between the Mercosur countries and the Commission. A Commission spokesperson stressed the urgency of reaching a deal due to a shift in the global geo-economic landscape.
The Commission's expectation remains to sign the EU-Mercosur agreement by the end of 2025, subject to the completion of Council procedures. While it is for the Council to decide on next steps, in the view of the Commission, signing the deal now is a matter of crucial importance, economically, diplomatically and geopolitically.
French farmers have increasingly expressed their anger at President Emmanuel Macron, stressing that the deal would expose them to unfair competition from Latin American imports. France has called for a delay to the December deadline, arguing that the right conditions are not yet in place for the vote to proceed. EU lawmakers will vote Tuesday on a safeguard clause proposed by the Commission, with some MEPs adding amendments on reciprocity.
Workers at Louvre voted on Monday to strike over staffing, funding and security concerns, shutting the museum for the day. Around 400 staff backed the walkout, forcing the world's most visited museum to turn visitors away at the doors.
Le personnel du Louvre a voté à l'unanimité la grève au musée du Louvre parce que les conditions de travail sont non seulement inacceptables, il y a eu une baisse d'effectifs depuis des années et il y a aussi un sujet des rémunérations. Si vous travaillez au Louvre dans l'excellence, de toute façon vous gagnez moins que vos collègues du ministère. Donc un ensemble de raisons, ça ne peut plus continuer.
Unions say talks with the government and culture minister Rashida Dati failed to resolve fears after October's daylight jewel heist. Thieves used a basket lift to break in and steal French crown jewels, with a Senate probe later blaming broken cameras, outdated kit and understaffed control rooms. Staff warned that overcrowding and under-resourcing are putting both security and working conditions at risk.
Adults who received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccines have a lower risk of death, regardless of the cause, a new French study has found. The study, which looked at 28 million French adults aged 18 to 59, found vaccinated individuals had a 74% lower risk of death from severe COVID-19 and a 25% lower risk of all-cause mortality. Researchers said the lower mortality risk was due in part to strong protection against severe illness, with vaccinated adults far less likely to die from the infection. They also suggested that fewer complications related to long COVID-19 may contribute to the overall reduction in death. The researchers' team concluded that a causal link between mRNA vaccination and excess long-term mortality now appears highly unlikely.
A person of interest linked to the Brown University shooting who had been taken into custody on Sunday has been released. According to officials, law enforcement authorities had insufficient grounds to hold the individual. Saturday's attack at the Ivy League University in the city of Providence, Rhode Island, left 2 students dead and 9 injured when a shooter opened fire in a classroom during an exam. The release of the person of interest leaves law enforcement without any suspect, and Providence Mayor Brett Smiley said the news is likely to cause fresh anxiety for the community. Officials have pledged to double down on efforts in the investigation by canvassing for video surveillance that could help pinpoint the shooter's identity. The shooting happened during one of the busiest periods of the academic year, as many students were on campus to sit their final exams. The mass shooting is the latest of nearly 400 in the United States this year.
At Diagnostics, we personalize cancer treatment by utilizing the power of AI. And while there has been great improvements in cancer care over the last years, there's still a lot of patients that receive toxic treatment with no benefit. What we aim to do is to identify the patients that truly benefit from the treatment and the patients that have a low risk and can safely forgo this toxic treatment.
We don't really know what the AI is looking for, but we have then afterwards correlated with pathologist evaluation and seen that it makes sense. It picks up many of the features that pathologists also look at, but it of course also combine this and look at things that pathologists may not know yet. Our AI solution is more accurate in predicting the outcome of the patient than the pathologists are themselves. So we can supplement the pathologist evaluation and therefore improve the prediction of outcome and therefore personalize the treatment of the patients.
de fans. J'avais vu le film Orgueil et préjugés de 2005 et aussi Becoming Jane. Et j'ai commencé à lire les œuvres de Jane Austen. Et j'aime aussi la période de la Régence en Angleterre. Donc le côté historique et le côté littéraire m'ont intéressée.
Le fait d'être en costume, on a encore l'impression d'être à cette époque-là, en fait. De voyager dans le temps d'un week-end, d'une après-midi. Voilà. Alors, je me suis basée sur une image d'époque, une gravure d'époque. Et après, j'avais le tissu et du coup, j'ai créé à partir d'un patron historique.
C'est un passage obligé quand on fait partie de la bonne société, on doit savoir danser, mais c'est aussi un fait social, un rituel social.